In this video, we're going to talk about the brand new Halo Infinite March update, and included is something akin to an actual timeline. So we need to talk about what features are being worked on, what features are coming out soon. But go to the GameLeap website down below for a quick climb to Onyx with in-depth map guides, tips and tricks, weapon courses, and so much more. If you want to climb incredibly quickly, do yourself a favor and go check it out right now down below. So we're gonna break down this article from top to bottom, and then we're going to talk about it after the fact. So to start off, quote, "I'm here to answer two questions that we know are top of the mind for Halo community. What is the Halo Infinite team working on right now, and when can we expect new content and features?" I'll start with brief answers and then get into more detail, including sharing some new info on what's coming with Season 2. This is the focus of the Halo Infinite team in priority order. Number 1, addressing issues negatively impacting the player experience. Number 2, completing Season 2 and delivering it as promised on May 3rd. And 3, continuing work on Campaign Co-op, Forge, and Season 3. Now, they also mentioned something called Priority 0, which prioritizes team health, creating a work-life balance that still allows them to meet all their expectations and goals. And a lot of this is putting certain things in place. So currently they're moving a lot slower, but they project that because they're doing this Priority 0 stuff right now, they'll be able to move much faster later on. And we'll have to wait and see if those things come to fruition. No way to know at this point. Now let's actually dig into their priority 1, which is the addressing critical issues. And quote, "Since the launch of Halo Infinite, we have been carefully tracking and analyzing all critical issues negatively impacting players' experiences with the game and supporting services. The internal name for this process is Hot List. Every week we refresh the Hot List with new insights and review issue prioritization and progress towards fixes. The Hot List serves as a vital internal planning tool for our monthly development sprints, as well as the hot fixes, content updates, and seasons we deliver to you." They go on to mention that there were some hot list gaps that they knew were in the game before launch, but it was so close to launch and launch was primed that they couldn't address it beforehand, so they would rather not try to throw it into the game before it's fully done. And one of those examples was the Spartan career or the score-based player progression. But there were other unknown hot list issues like problems with the big team battle matchmaking and key vulnerabilities in their anti-cheat system. Now, before I say anything else, I'm incredibly thankful for 343 for being this open and transparent, and I think it's important to give them credit for that. That being said, notably, the Spartan career or the score-based player progression is something that has been in all the Halos, so it should have been fully fleshed out. And I know that accidents happen, but it is really important that that was at the bar before ship. I think you probably already know that at this point, but it's pretty obvious. And then the anti-cheat system, I don't know, man. Get a person on your team that is familiar with the needs of an anti-cheat system before you jump into PC gaming and the free-to-play market. It just seems like 343 was very unprepared for the launch, almost like they had a much longer timeline, and then someone from up above came in and said, "Hey, we're actually gonna ship this game out like a year early, so get to fucking work." And they're like, "All right." But I mean, really, because that just seems kind of crazy to me that those things were overlooked. Now, they do mention that some things on the hot list have been fixed, like the big team battle matching. Some things have partial improvements but still need work, like the anti-cheat. And some things are in active development but not yet released yet, like the Spartan career, Campaign Co-op, and Forge. Now, the interesting piece here is that they are going to make a future public hot list. So we'll be able to see all the priority issues that they are working on and what is on their next to-do list, so to speak. So we know what is coming down the pipeline, even if the pipeline's a little bit out. Now, the next thing is the priority 2, which is shipping Season 2. So if you check the Season 1 Battle Pass, you will see that Season 1 ends on May 2nd, and that's because Season 2 will launch May 3rd. I'm very excited to announce the official name and theme for Season 2, which is Lone Wolves. Now, this is incredibly appropriate for a season because none of my fucking friends will play Halo with me anymore. Okay, sorry. Moving on. But basically, they define Lone Wolves as the theme or the core ideas of the creation of the season's content. Quote, "Lone Wolf Spartans are hunters, trackers, they're resourceful improvisers operating deep in enemy territory without resupply or support. They're fierce, rugged, and prefer to work alone, but they're still loyal to the Spartan pack. Here's an early peek at 2 of these Lone Wolves, and I will be honest, This is pretty fucking cool. That skin on the right reminds me a lot of like Monster Hunter, and that's not a bad thing. I think it's really, really cool. Yeah, just please don't make them like super goddamn expensive and I'll buy it, okay? 343, I'll fucking buy it. Now this is also a free Fracture core armor that they haven't shown all the customizable options for, but apparently it's gonna be pretty in-depth. And honestly, for a free skin that you could just grind to earn, it's pretty freaking cool as well. Now, during Season 2, they're also going to be shipping playlist updates, balance changes, new modes, and maps, specifically one arena map named Catalyst and one big team battle map named Breaker. These new modes include Last Spartan Standing, a free-for-all elimination mode, as well as another mode named Land Grab, plus the return of an updated all-time favorite, King of the Hill. Now here's some concept pictures for these maps, and I'm honestly just so goddamn excited for any new content and new maps, especially free-for-all maps and King of the Hill. Like, yeah, you already got me. Look at how little you have to do to get me already back, hooked in. I'm fucking hyped. Now, the only really disappointing thing about all this cool stuff is that Season 2 doesn't launch until May, the very beginning of May. So we still have an entire 2 months until then. So yeah, it's still a while till we get that new content. There's gonna be little bits of content in between, but the big things that we all want are not gonna be until Season 2, which doesn't start officially until May 3rd. Now, the third priority is to work on campaign co-op, Forge, and Season 3. So, quote, we're making great progress on campaign network co-op, and to be clear, this work has been occurring in parallel to Season 2's work, as has their work on Forge. But the reality is this is going to take more time to land a high-quality, full-featured, 4-player network co-op experience in the massive, wide-open world of Halo Infinite. We're also committed to a great 2-player split-screen co-op experience on all Xbox consoles, from the original Xbox One through Xbox One Series S, and the non-linear wide-open sections of the campaign present some big challenges for split-screen that have taken us more time to solve. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know that they were doing split-screen co-op. I know that Halo has historically done split-screen, but I didn't know that they were gonna try to do that for the open world. A lot of games have shied away from split-screen in the recent years, and the fact that they're still committing to it, it's probably pretty hard to pull off if I think about it for an open world split-screen. So I'm gonna give them props to that one, that they're actually still delivering that for the Xbox and the Xbox One series. I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna give them a little bit of props. Now, they do state that they're not gonna be able to ship network co-op on May 3rd at the start of Season 2, but they're still aiming to deliver it later in Season 2. So it really seems like this is gonna be the thing that bridges the gap between Season 2 and Season 3. So hypothetically, we get that Season 2 drop in May that's gonna be pretty awesome. Lots of new game modes and new maps, and just a lot of new content in general, and that's gonna be pretty hype. And then towards the end of that, or the end of the season, we might be getting that co-op campaign, and then that leads us directly into Season 3, which is probably gonna have the release of Forge and even more potential content. So in reality, if you think about Halo being in beta this entire time, the official launch is on May 3rd. That's when Halo actually drops. By the way, I know that Halo's not actually in beta. I just kind of feel like it is. I made this point in several other videos, so don't comment down below saying it's not in beta. Anyways, now for some more recent stuff to tie you over, there is the new Tactical Ops event starting next week that is going to have different variants of Tactical Slayer with some armor cores that you're going to be able to earn. But in all actuality, when we look at this entire thing from the top down looking in, if you have been a grinder from, day one since, November 20th, and you've been grinding till now, you're gonna be a little bit disappointed that this is a ways off. But 343 is basically targeting their big ad campaign where they start really ramping up all their advertisements for Halo and really start pushing the game out at the start of the Lone Wolf launch around May. So if you think about that, like I did say, it's like the actual launch of Halo, which is kind of what it feels like. And I know it's a little whiles off. A lot of you are a little bit disappointed, but if you got to take a break from Halo, no big deal. You got to take some time off from Halo, no big deal. Come back fresh and excited when all this stuff is being pumped out. And I promise you, it's going to be a good fucking time. But down below, the GameLeap website is the best place to quickly grind your skills if you want to dominate the opposition and easily just slaughter out in every single game you're in. You got to go check out our in-depth pro guides, breakdowns, and so much more. Go check it out right now down below.